Isn't this weird? This is so weird that I'm actually ready at 7 o'clock in the morning and I'm not going to be putting on my makeup. It's very weird. I'm going to let some people join for just a minute and then I'm going to explain to you why I have come to making a change on Sneeze Farmhouse. I am, uh, let me say this. My morning lives are about mental health topics and talking about how I got to where I am today through a story. They're true stories. They're not made up stories. They're true stories about how I got to where I am today. Well, I still will not be in the chat room. I will not be chit-chatting. I will not be reading comments. Chris is here. Jane is here. Teresa is here to answer any questions. So they are my moderators. So anybody that has a question, they will respond to you because chances are they know the answer because they've been with me for a long time and they know me personally. So I am not going to be chit-chatting with y'all because I'll tell you why. Because I feel like that is for y'all to build a relationship. It's not about me. It's about y'all. I'm not the center of attention when it comes to that. I want you guys to build relationships with each other because I feel like it's healthy. You guys go to other pages and y'all chit chat with each other. It's healthy for y'all. And when I am in a story and I am telling a story, if I glance over, and I've said this before, and y'all are giving each other an apple pie recipe, I get distracted and I forget what I'm talking about. And then I'm like, oh, I want to know what that recipe is. I want to make that. And then the next thing you know, I'm talking about apple pie. And I am ADHD and I cannot concentrate on the topic and where I'm going with the topic if I'm reading the comments. It's not because I don't care. It's just because the comments are there for you guys. So I don't have on my glasses, which means I can't really read the comments. So I have to stick to the subject. Okay. So know that up front. Why am I changing things up? I'm going to share with you a story. And sometimes I feel like when I was thinking about sharing this story, I was like, oh gosh, I'm going to get judged. But I have to be honest. So my son called me on the phone and said, oh my gosh, Mom, Charlie Kirk died. And I said, who is that? He was like, Mom, you don't know who Charlie Kirk is? I'm like, no, I don't. So he was like, go look him up. And I was like, okay. So the first place I went, because I knew, I think he told me he's on TikTok. So I go to TikTok and I scroll and I see him debating with teenagers. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is awful. And I just was scrolling through some of his posts and I was like, he is going into colleges debating with people about like religion, abortion, sexuality, interracial marriages. And I was just like, I was appalled. I don't know who he is, okay? But my first impression of him was not good. It was not good. I'm being honest. And then all the news starts popping up about, him passing away. And I was so sad that I was like, that is awful that someone, got killed, at a college. Like, it was awful. And so then I was just like, in my head, I was like, I'm scared to say this out loud, but I was like, what do you expect when you're going into the public debating with people that are against what you're saying? Like, I mean, there's going to be war. There's going to be fight. There's going to be like, this is not going to end well, is what I was thinking in my head. But I was basing my opinions off just scrolling through TikTok. I don't know him. I don't have the facts. I based my opinion off a couple of TikToks, watching him on videos going, this is awful. I believed, from what I was listening on TikTok, I believed majority of it. I was on his side in what he believes, but I was like, I don't feel like going out in the public debating. I was like, oh my gosh, like, that's not good, is what I was thinking in my head. Okay. Because I was basing my opinion off scrolling through TikTok. I did not have the facts. So let's talk about me. You're scrolling through YouTube, or you're scrolling through Facebook, and this girl is putting on her makeup. What is your first instinct? I'm selling makeup, or they don't take me serious, or I am so dumb for putting on makeup. I feel like people think of me like I thought of Charlie Kirk, because I did not know him. My first impression of him was not good. And I realized that I was so wrong in what I was saying. There's a lot that I do not understand. I will say, I don't understand. But my first impression was scrolling through a 15-second TikTok. When people scroll through Facebook and see me putting on makeup, I'm sure their first impression of me is not good. So I feel like in my heart that I need to make a change, because I feel like first impression is so important. Because first impressions to me, I mean, when you meet someone, your first impression of them is kind of what you think about them, even though you don't have the facts. The way they look, the way they present themselves, the words that come out of their mouth, what they say, the first impressions are important. And when I'm putting on my makeup in the morning, I feel like my first impressions are not good. So I want to make a change. Now, with this change, nothing's going to change for y'all, really, because y'all are still getting here at 7 o'clock. But a lot is changing for me, because that means my coffee time is interrupted. My quiet time is interrupted, because I have to get ready, because I'm going live at 7 o'clock. I feel stressed. This is a big commitment for me, because I have to do things differently. My whole morning routine has been interrupted. But I feel like, and I feel scared. I'm like, oh my gosh, can I maintain this? Can I literally maintain this? I don't know. I hope, but I don't know. I feel scared. So I'm taking a leap of faith, because I have no idea what's fixing to happen in the future, but I feel led to do this. And I feel scared, like, God, you're going to have to give me the strength, because your girl here is not really that early of a morning person. But I'm taking a leap of faith that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. One thing that I feel kind of weird about is I almost feel like a smoker. You know how smokers say when they try to quit, like they need to do something with their hands? I feel like a smoker right now. I feel like, but I can't just sit here. I got to be doing something. Like, I can't just, it feels weird to me. I feel like I need a cigarette in my hand, honestly. I don't know what to do with my hands. So bear with me as I go through this transition of new way of doing things. And thank you for bearing with me. Okay. Over the past 2 years, when it comes to social media, start crying right off the bat. When it comes to social media, I beat myself up terribly. I do. Uh, Scouts honor is one of the terms that I use. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it kind of helps me not cry. Okay. So Scouts honor that I will not cry. Okay. Let's dry it up, Judy. Dry it up. Oh, the past 2 years, I have compared myself to other channels and other people. When Jason and Brooke first came to my farm and talked to me, they taught Jason, Brooke, and Jacqueline Head taught me into doing YouTube. It was not my idea at all. As a matter of fact, when they first came to my farm, I wasn't even really monetized on Facebook, although I had a big following. Because you don't get paid by how many followers you have, you get paid by how many views you have. So I had Facebook just because I wanted to share my life with other people. I wasn't in it for the money. As a matter of fact, I didn't even really know you could get paid on Facebook. So my intentions were pure. My intentions were pure. Well, when they filmed my farm overnight, I have 12,000 subscribers. I've not been given anything because having 12,000 subscribers means absolutely nothing. It's not like you get high dollars for how many subscribers you have. It doesn't mean anything. So Judy wasn't given anything. I have the views that I have because I don't mean this, it sounds like disrespectful, but I've earned trust with you. You might have come over to meet me because of another channel. Maybe it was Lester, maybe it was Coghill. I don't know. But I had to earn a relationship with you. It wasn't given to me. And when I started getting monetized on Facebook and YouTube, it's almost like, look at me. I'm a superstar. It's almost like that. When you first start getting monetized, you're like, look at me. You're like patting yourself on the back. All this hard work that I've done. Oh, it's finally paying off. And I'm like, it's been very confusing to me because I didn't even know you could get paid on Facebook, really. Okay. So, like, when I started getting paid, it was like, I felt like I had done a lot of good works. Well, then when you become monetized and you start surrounding yourself with other YouTubers or other Facebook creators, you find yourself running after a number. How many views did you get? And you find yourself constantly going to views. And it's robbed me of my joy. I hate it. I literally cannot stand the way it makes your brain think. It's ruined friendships. It's ruined relationships because in the creator world, it's very competitive. It's very competitive. Like sometimes these bigger channels are like, I'm not collaborating with you. You are beneath me. It's terrible. I've been guilty of it. It's been absolutely the worst thing for me. It's made me turn my head towards people that run after a dollar like that. But then, like in my head, I'm like, they do this for a living. I don't. People that do this for a living, it's like money, 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 because they're trying to pay for their family and they're trying to, pay their mortgage, or they're trying to move to a bigger property, and it's like, I get it. And I will never, ever, ever do this for a living, ever. Shane and I are not quitting our jobs to do social media full time. Why? That's not our goal. But me being the competitive person that I am, and the entrepreneur that I am, I'm finding myself getting stuck thinking about numbers and about my self-worth. Like I'm only like when you get on, let's just say YouTube, and all your friends have got like 10,000 views and you're over here with 786, you feel like a loser. When you go to pedals and there's all these long lines, you feel like a loser. I don't go to pedals and feel great. I don't go to pedals and feel supportive. I don't. As a matter of fact, I usually separate myself. And God has slapped me in the face because it's so easy to get caught up in the click, I guess is what you call it. I don't know what you call it. It's easy to get caught up in the game. The game of running after a number, or the game of trying to get rich, or the game of being in the in crowd. It is so easy to get caught up in that. And over the past, I would say, little bit, I promise you, every time I post a video, I get depressed. I literally get depressed because I go out here and compare myself to other channels. And I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I doing this to myself? This is horrible. This is absolutely horrible to focus on a number or focus on my self-worth compared to other channels. This is horrible. And through the past 2 years of me being on YouTube, I've reached out to other creators. And majority of them have said to me, "You have nothing to offer me." Well, when someone tells you that you have nothing to offer them, what does it do to you mentally? It janks you up. It janks you up because you don't fit in, especially when your mindset is like mine. I want God is laying on my heart to go in a different direction. That does not mean that I'm leaving YouTube or Facebook. A different direction is Sneeze Farmhouse is a nonprofit farm. I am not for profit. The different direction that God is leading me is to get away from all that. I can't be a part of it. It's it's because of me. It's not that other people have done something wrong. It's me. I cannot be affiliated because I am being robbed of my joy because of myself. It's me, okay? It's all me. It's not that all these people have done something wrong. It's me. I want to be purpose driven. I do not want to be money driven. And my brain has been toxic over the past 2 years. Because when people tell you, oh, you're going to get rich, oh, listen, just wait, just wait. You get caught up in that get rich quick game. I have had a sick brain for the past 2 years. Shane and I have sat down and had a serious, serious talk about where we're going. I want to be purpose driven. I want to stop comparing myself to other people. I want to stop being jealous of other people. I want to be rich in a different way. I want to be purpose driven. And I want to surround myself with other people that think like me. I don't want to be in a popularity contest. I don't want to depend on another channel to lift me up. The only person that I want to lift me up is my Savior. And purpose driven means that I want to be honest. I want to be true. I want to welcome people. I am not the Christian that wants everyone to think like me. I am not the Christian that's going to get in a debate. I'm not the Christian that's going to say only these people are welcome here. I welcome everyone. My heart is different, I guess. I I'm not perfect. I constantly make mistakes. I constantly fall on my face, and I get back up and try to learn from it. But I'm not here saying I'm perfect, and I don't expect you to be perfect. We're human beings. We're in this together. I want to be purpose driven. I don't want to be money driven. Purpose driven is there's a purpose for my life. I'm not here by mistake. I'm here to spread his goodness. I'm not here to throw my beliefs completely down your throat. I want to walk in faith. I don't want to have to tell you anything. I want you to see it because I've accomplished zero. Nothing has been given to me but by God. There is not one person nor one creator that's holier than thou. Everything that you have seen accomplished on my farm is nothing great and wonderful that I have done. It is God giving me the strength to do what I do. I don't get the pat on the back, but by God. But I hope what you see in this channel is driven by purpose. Okay, with that being said, today I want to talk about slang words. Slang words, as in, oh my gosh, he is so OCD. Oh my gosh, this weather is such bipolar. Um, oh my gosh, I'm about to have a nervous breakdown. Oh my gosh, my anxiety is through the roof. Mental health terms that are thrown around. For someone who has fought mental health issues since high school, I remember in 2006, I remember making an appointment for a psychiatrist. And I remember going in there going, I need help. I need help. And after having several appointments with her, she diagnosed me with bipolar. I didn't really know what bipolar was. I suddenly felt embarrassed. Oh, I am crazy. I am crazy. Like, I've gotten the title because when I was in high school, my depression was so bad that I tried to take my life. And I graduated high school in the hospital. So when she gave me that diagnosis, it was like I just got labeled that I was crazy. So I remember coming home, telling my family what she diagnosed me with and, starting medication, trying to find the right medicine that would work with my brain. And it was awful. I'll just tell you that. Trying to find the right medication for you, it takes years. And I remember when it was in 2010, and I remember telling her that I felt embarrassed for having bipolar. I felt so embarrassed. I mean, dang, that's not something you want. You don't want that diagnosis. That's embarrassing. And she had to help me cope with being okay with having that diagnosis. In the beginning, it was a very toxic diagnosis because I didn't know what to do when I would have manic episodes, or I didn't know what to do when I got depressed because I had no tools in my pocket. Um, my depression would last, like, I would get manic and then my depression would hit, and I would be like, when I tell you I was in the dumps, I could not function. It was bad, and it would last forever after a manic episode. But when you're manic, you feel great. It's almost like having a high without doing drugs. It's like almost like you get superpowers because you can accomplish things that you can't normally accomplish when you're not manic. And I remember my doctor kidding with me, and she was like, Judy, my counselor said this to my doctor. She said, I believe that if we took Judy off medication, I believe that she could cure world hunger. And we were all dying laughing because when I get manic, I get really strong. I get really driven. I get I don't know. The only way I can describe it is to be superpower. I can accomplish anything. Anything. It's amazing what happens. Um I since 2010, I learned how to put tools in my pocket because I learned how getting that high was toxic to me because I was going to crash. So I had to learn how to calm myself during manic episodes so that I didn't crash for years. With a lot of hard work, I told you guys, I've said this a bunch, but in 2010 is when my world just came crashing down. I had never been that depressed in my entire life. And I ended up in the hospital and I went to counseling. I was flown to California uh, for a short period of time. I was in a dual diagnosis center, and I was flown home, and I ended up going to the doctor 3 days a week for 2 years to learn how to control the things that were happening to me. And I had to get on the right medication. Well, suddenly, when I started getting better, I was learning to pull out tools from my pocket. Okay, Judy, you have lots of energy. What do you need to do? I need to do something productive with this energy. I need to get out my farm and just start cleaning. I need to be productive. Instead of being destructive, I need to be productive. So I had to learn how to use bipolar to my advantage. When the word bipolar gets thrown around and someone says, like, you scroll through Facebook and you see someone say, this weather is bipolar. It's sweaters in the morning and tank tops in the afternoon. That does not bother me. It it does not bother me at all when people say that. Um, when it bothers me is when people try to use it against me. So, um, let's just say that I'm feeling really good one day, and someone says to me, "Are you manic?" I will flip my lid because I'm not manic. I just feel good. Or if someone says, this is when it really gets me, is I can remember it was actually Shane that did this. But he was telling me a story, and this is before he knew I even had bipolar, okay? He was telling me a story, and he was talking about this guy that was crazy, and he said, I found out later that he had bipolar and that he took medication. And I'm like, no way. Are you serious right now? When people say that to me, it almost makes me chuckle inside, because people say it a lot. I mean, in the past, over the years, people will go, oh my gosh, let me tell you, she is so bipolar. Like she literally takes medication for it. And I'm over here going, and I'll just role play with them. You are kidding me. She's bipolar. She must be psycho. Oh yeah, she is. Let me just tell you. Awful. She's on medication and everything. I'm like, daggone, that is awful. But people throw around the word bipolar, and they think people that are bipolar are, I don't know, I don't know what they think. They think they're crazy, or they're going to do something, I don't know, that'll hurt someone, or like, I don't know. It's thrown around like people don't really understand what they're talking about. It's the same thing with OCD. I lived with a husband with OCD. It ain't Shane. I lived with that. That is a sad, sad disease, especially if it's untreated. And when people throw around, oh my gosh, he is so OCD. For someone that has that diagnosis, that lives in HE double hockey sticks in their life because they deal with OCD every single day and they cannot stop, you have no idea what you're talking about when you say someone's OCD. It is a very, very sad disease. And just because someone keeps their house straight doesn't mean they're OCD. OCD is a compulsive, it's an impulse, it's compulsive. Like, we're combing the carpet at 3:00 in the morning. You know, we are in the pantry doing everything by alphabetical order, and nothing, it, like, you could take the green beans and put them down here, and like they're freaking out, and they've got to redo the whole cabinet because it has to be in alphabetical order. If you've never lived with someone that truly has OCD, throwing around the word OCD, you don't really know what it means. You really don't understand what you're talking about. When someone throws around the word bipolar to me, it used to embarrass me for someone to even know that I had bipolar. It still does a little bit. It still embarrasses me a little bit. It does. Because you're quickly judged. Oh, I think she's depressed. Ooh, I think she sure does have a lot of energy today. People do that to me. And especially like if I have a friend, let's just say, and me and the friend get into a disagreement, they're quick to say, she has bipolar. She has bipolar. She's on medication. It's hard because you get judged. I was talking to this lady this weekend. She came to my farm, and when she learned that I had bipolar, I think she was a little shocked. We began to talk about, because hers is the manic part is not that difficult. It's the depression part for me that's just like destructive. Because I used to go to a really bad place when I got depressed. And I think that when you look at me and you hear me talk and you see what I do, it's hard to understand that I have that. Like, you don't see me depressed, really. I mean, you might see me up and down, but you don't see me not being able to get out of the bed for months, years. I can't function. You don't see that because I'm here every Monday and Wednesday at 7 o'clock talking about mental health. I am very fortunate because I'm in recovery. Meaning, I've worked really hard to get where I am today. It didn't come naturally. I wasn't just like someone laid hands on me and I got better. No, I had to put in the work. But I was so miserable with my life that I knew I had to. Or otherwise I wouldn't be here today. It was that bad. So I ran after recovery. And I was like, I got to get better. My kids need me. I've got to get better. You got to help me fix this. And I knew it wasn't going to be a easy fix. I knew it was going to take time and it was going to take discipline, but I wanted to be better so bad that I was so disciplined. I showed up to every single doctor's appointment. I studied. I show you this book all the time. This thick old book right here. I went through 2 years of this therapy. DBT. Changed my life. Marsha Linehan changed my life. If you have depression or you have mental health issues, find this program in your area. DBT. Changed my life. Because it taught me how to manage my life. So now I've learned to use bipolar to my advantage. Sometimes people go, Judy, I have no clue how you do what you do. Do I say, God bless me with bipolar? I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Like, I've learned to use it to my advantage. I learned how to not be destructive with it. I've learned how to say, when I'm depressed, I say, I'm having a hard time, and this is why. I've learned how to speak what goes on in my mind. And that's why, like, not putting on my makeup in the morning, I feel like God's after me to reach more people. Because I have a purpose why I go live in the morning at 7 a.m. to talk about real life stuff. Do you know how hard that is? Do you have any clue how hard it is to talk about your problems out loud to the public? to how to come up with topics, how to come up with stories, how to figure out how to explain myself. There's purpose behind my lives. And I can assure you, it is not for money. As a matter of fact, I spend money to go live. It cost me $88 to go live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time a month. It's purpose driven. I feel like God just, I feel like when it comes to mental health, I feel like there's so many people that suffer. There's so many people that suffer. And I'm like, let me be a shining example that if you run after recovery, you don't have to suffer the rest of your life. When throwing around slang terms, we say things without realizing what we're saying. Like, for example, let's just say that you're kidding with your spouse and you're like, you're so retarded. I have been so guilty of saying that in the past. But to someone who actually suffers, and if you said that, or you said that in front of a mother or father of a loved one, what do you think they do? Oh, yeah, they're so retarded. Did you think they do like I do? Oh my gosh, let me just tell you. She has bipolar and she takes medication. Oh, okay. That's awful. Oh my gosh. Scary, you know? That's so scary. People do that to me all the time. Over the years. And I remember when Shane and I were dating and we started getting more serious. I remember we were at his house and I said, I need to talk to you about something. And he was like, okay. I start busting out in tears. And it was hard for me to get out what I wanted to say. But I said to him, I said, in the past, you've made comments about people that have, bipolar. And the last thing I want to do is to start this relationship pretending like I'm somebody that I'm not, because I don't want a failed marriage. So I need you to know that I have bipolar. And I think he was shocked. I said, the difference is with me is I've ran after recovery. But that doesn't mean that I don't suffer. That doesn't mean that I don't get manic episodes. That doesn't mean that I don't get depressed. But this is the difference in me today versus 10 years ago. I don't stay there. I can feel a manic episode coming on. And the first thing I do is I have my doctor on her. I have her personal cell phone number because I've been with her for 16 years. And I'm like, hey, we might need to make an appointment because I feel manic. And I'll get on the phone with her and she's like, what are you supposed to be doing? Putting an ice pack on my face. But I feel dumb doing that. Because like there's times when I don't know, something will happen and Shane goes, you need to call your doctor. You want to see me rip him a new one? Let him say that to me. Because then I fire back and go, I run after recovery. You don't. You don't fix your problems because you think you're perfect. I will fire back. Because a lot of times people throw around, she needs to go see somebody. Because that's another term. People like people that are oppressed, or like sometimes someone throws around the slang word. They say she has got depression. It's depression, PTSD, all those words are thrown around when people really don't understand what they're talking about. There is difference in a situational depression and a chemical depression. Situational depression, people understand. People understand, okay, her husband just passed away. She's depressed. Bless her heart. People understand that. But 2 years later, when you're still depressed and you can't get out of the bed, people will walk in your door. Mother, you need to get out of the bed. It's been 2 years since Daddy died. You need to get over it. You need to live your life. People don't understand that. They don't. They don't understand true depression. People do not understand until you have it. A chemical depression is, to me, it is so hard to deal with because you can't get out of it. No matter what you do, you can't pull yourself together. And the last thing you want to do is get yourself up, get dressed, and go to the psychiatrist because you don't want to talk about it. You just want to lay in the bed, leave me alone, and let me go to sleep. But people throw around the term, I'm depressed, or she's depressed. You don't really understand what you're dealing with until you've truly been around a person that stays depressed all the time. That's like negative Nancy, stays depressed. Like you don't really understand what you're talking about. When people say, you triggered me, do they really understand what you mean? Because like when I get triggered, you take me down a dark, 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 dark road. When I get triggered, I go to a bad, bad place. And sometimes it takes me a lot to get out of it. You don't really know what trigger means unless you've been there. Triggered, having an outburst and then you're over it is not a trigger. But people throw around mental health terms as if they know what they're talking about. But unfortunately, when you throw around mental health terms, it's actually very judgmental. And sometimes when you do it, you know, have you ever made a mistake in your life and it's followed you? Like say let's just, I'm going to make up a story. Let's say you were in your 20s and you got addicted to drugs and you got a felony and you were in your 20s and you're now 40 and that still follows you to this day. Even though you've totally changed your life, you'll always be known as a drug addict or you'll always be known as a felon. That's hard. I feel like, though, when it comes to life in general, you can talk to your blue in the face, but how you live your life says it all. People watch, and you have no idea who you influence just by the way you live your life. I could preach to you all day long. I could throw scripture at you. I could tell you what God says about certain things. And would you listen to me, or would you look at the way I live my life? Like she talks about, she throws Bible scripture, but look what she does. Look how she lives her life. She's over there saying people are retarded. She's the most judgmental person out of everybody. She teaches against discrimination, and she's the worst one. People look at you. You know, I talked about in the beginning of this live about first impressions, and I told you what my first impression was. My first impression was but you know how I tell you that you have to pause and you have to check the facts. So my first impression was negative. That was my first impression, was holy cow. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But when you stop and pause and go, okay, do you know this person? What do you know this person because you've looked at 3 TikToks? Really? Really, Judy? You've looked at 3 TikToks and all of a sudden you've formed an opinion. I talk about that because people do that to me. You know, I post a picture on my thumbnail. I post a picture of Chestnut Hill's dog because I did call them. I did consider getting a dog. And I post this picture of me and Shane, and I say new dog with a bunch of question marks. And I cannot tell you how many people right off the bat sent me congratulations on your new dog. Because they looked at a picture and formed an opinion. Even though it says new dog with a bunch of question marks, they saw a picture and they formed an opinion. Judy got a new dog. Congratulations. And I was like, none of these people are watching my video. None of these people are watching my video. And it was making me almost chuckle inside because I was like, and it wasn't like it was 1 or 2 people. It was a bunch of people. I'm so excited you're getting Nick and Zoe's dog. I'm so guilty of doing the same thing. I scroll through Facebook and see a picture and form an opinion, or automatically assume I know what I'm talking about. Every one of us do it. But when you dig deep into the person's page, sometimes the opinion you formed of them is not right. Believe it or not, you're wrong. Believe it or not, I'm wrong. Believe it or not. But when you're just scrolling through Facebook and you form an opinion about someone and you haven't paused and checked the facts, chances are you might be missing your blessing. Just like scrolling through Facebook and seeing this girl putting on her makeup. People form an opinion of me. They don't take me serious. I look like I'm selling Mary Kay. And I have to remember in my head when I was thinking about Charlie Kirk and my first impression, I have to think this is how my brain works. And the counseling has taught me this. Anytime I say something like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe he literally goes into the public, into schools, preaching what he believes. I go, but what do you do, Judy? What do you do? Oh, well, I'm the same way, When someone makes me mad, I have to stop myself and go, but Judy, what do you do? Especially when it comes to Shane. I'm like, he's so hot-headed. He needs therapy so bad. But Judy, what do you do? Because at the end of the day, we control ourselves, right? So when you're going through life and you don't understand other people, or you form an opinion about someone else, always go look in the mirror. Always go look in the mirror. That's your first step in recovery. Honestly, that's a tool that you need to pull out of your pocket is look in the mirror and ask yourself the same question about yourself. You know what I'm saying? That tool, if you pull it out of your pocket and go, okay, Judy, let's get in the mirror. Okay, fix your hair, Judy. What do you do wrong? Oh, I forgot I do things wrong. I forgot I'm a train wreck. I was too busy worrying about somebody else's train wreck to worry about my own train wreck. Chances are we will start seeing faults in ourselves, and that is our learning lesson to fix it. If you miss your blessing and miss what you're supposed to be learning from the situation, and you blame it all on the other person, chances are you're missing your blessing to learn. God is showing you something, a big lesson that you need to be learning about yourself. But instead, we're too busy concentrating on what they did. We're mad. They did this. They did that. But what do you do, girlfriend? What was your approach like? Did you say it out of love? Did you say it out of kindness? Could you have said it differently? Like, it's always you should look from within. All right, I made it through an hour without putting on makeup. Your takeaway from this is be mindful of first impressions of yourself and of others. The tool that you pull out of your pocket is anytime you're in a situation that you question someone else, Instead of question that person, pull that tool out of your pocket and go look in the mirror and go, but what do you do, Judy? Are you perfect? Ask yourself the same question that you're saying about the other person. And be mindful of using terms that could be hurtful to someone else. Be mindful, because you never know. You never know. I love you guys. You have choices. You can sit it out. For 2 years, I've been sitting it out. I've been comparing myself, running after things that are toxic to me. Dancing is surrounding yourself with people that you want to be like. My father always taught me, Judy, you want a good marriage? Go surround yourself with people with good marriages. You want to be financially set? Go surround yourself with people that are financially set. You want to be Christ-like? Go surround yourself with people with purpose. Watch how their purpose-driven self is totally different from someone that does not have a purpose-driven life. Watch what happens to them when they get a little bit of money. Watch what happens when someone loses all their money. Watch what their fate does. And I feel like in my heart, no matter what you're faced with, if you lost everything that you had, what would happen to you? If you became a millionaire overnight, what would happen to you? Would you be purpose-driven, or would you be earthly driven? That's your question. I'll see you guys Wednesday. Bye.